Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. To be honest, this story is the whole reason why I wanted to make YouTube, was to be able to put my story out there and help other girls that are in the same situation. My story starts back when I was 17. My entire senior year I was pregnant. And it was hard, and it was even harder because there was a group of girls that made it nearly impossible for me. And they made it impossible because they bullied me. So I used to hang out with this group of girls, and the main two girls, we'll call them Girl A and Girl B. And Girl A was my best friend since, I believe, freshman year. You know, we were like this. We were just stuck together. We did everything together. Our parents knew each other. I was about to be a senior, and something in me told me that that group of girls shouldn't be the group of girls that I should be hanging out with. What your friends do around you, you're eventually going to stumble into as well. Before I met this group of girls, I was, an A+ student, always made it to class. After I met them is when things started going downwards. So at that point in my life at 17, I just felt like, you know what, you can do better. So I told the group of girls that we shouldn't be friends anymore. So Girl A and Girl B were obviously upset. After I stopped talking to them, I had this other group of friends. These girls were girls and guys actually in this new group. They were down to earth. They lifted each other up all the time. If we all hung out together, like, it wasn't, obviously, it's what every teenager does. There was drinking, there was partying until 2 o'clock, but it wasn't anything like what I was doing with the other girls. So unfortunately, I got my heart broken, and I'm not going to blame it on my heart broken because it was obviously choices that I made. But my heart was broken, and I went and did something that I shouldn't have, and I got pregnant. So the first things that they started doing was talking behind my back. And when people say that, you think, oh, so they were just talking bad about you to other people. No, literally, they were behind me talking bad about me. So they would walk right behind me and talk stuff saying, pregnant people are gross. They were very hateful words that they were saying behind my back, literally. And so when that started, I believe Girl A said something along the lines, I hope she trips. And I got scared. Being pregnant, and I knew that, that very first trimester, you're the most fragile person ever. I got scared. And ever since Girl A said that, I always had somebody walk with me. And it was from the new group of people that I was hanging out with. And they would all, either I would have them in my class or they would be in a class really close to me, but every single one of them would literally pick me up from the door of the class and take me to my next class. And I did that almost all my pregnancy because I was so scared. Going up the stairs, I would literally hold on to my friends, hand locking them. Being pregnant in high school, I obviously felt like I needed to make sure that I always had good grades and I was always ahead of the game because I was due a week before graduation, and that week before graduation is finals. So I would stay after school, or I would go to school early just to make sure that all of my teachers, I was on top of my assignments, on top of any projects. I was on top of everything. I was good. I remember one time I bumped into Girl B after school, and she was sitting down with a girl I knew, not from the new group of girls I was hanging out with, just some girl that I knew in school. She was sitting with her on a bench, and I remember, like, I was on one side of the, I was at the entrance of the school, and they were on the bench sitting kind of in front of me. They were, I don't know, like a room lengthwise away from me. And girl B started saying, started making vomiting noises and saying pregnant people are gross, and I don't see how pregnant people should be walking around in school like that, and just hateful things. So I got scared staying after school. So what I would do is I would get to school early, and I would just pick up my assignments, and I would tell everybody that I couldn't stay anymore after school, and I wouldn't. I would just go straight home. It was really scary, and to be honest, I don't know if I would have been in the situation where I was alone with them if they would have bullied me physically. It wasn't just my life anymore, it was my baby's life, and it was scary, and I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody else. So not only was it in the hallways or after school, it even started to get to the point where during lunch they would say things out loud. And I think that's when it started hurting the most, because like I said, it wasn't just them, it was the group of girls that they were in. Not only do I think that, it was just them that were saying things, but if you're sitting next to somebody and they're saying those kind of things to somebody else, I feel like there's a right that you have to make sure that they stop, to make sure that they don't say those things, because it sucks, it hurts. And it got to the point where it hit me so hard emotionally what they were saying that I wouldn't eat in the lunchroom anymore. I had a teacher who does teen parenting classes in high school. She told me, because I was really nauseous during almost all my pregnancy, but she told me because of the nausea, you can come eat in here. So I did. I would go pick up my lunch, I would make sure I was always walking with somebody else, and I would go eat in the classroom by myself. And I think that was when I felt like they're taking over my life. I can't do anything without thinking of what they could do or what they're going to say out loud to me. And what if I have the baby, and what if they're still around enough to where they're talking about me, not about me, where they're trying to talk to me that way in front of my daughter. It was really hard, and I think I started feeling like I was getting depressed. I kept feeling worse about myself. I was like, what if they're right? What if I shouldn't have gotten pregnant? What if I shouldn't have had this baby? And people always say, oh, well, you got yourself into that predicament of being pregnant and a teenager and in high school and a senior in high school, when you're supposed to want to be in school because it's your last year and you have all these activities going on. And yeah, they're right. I should have been more careful. I don't blame it on anybody else but myself. But I don't think that on top of the stress of knowing that that's not something that you should have done, that these people are emotionally, verbally abusing you or bullying you, and if you're in my position, tell somebody about it. Because yes, my new group of friends knew, but just like me, we were in our heads, what is an adult gonna do? Then to tell them to stop, and they're gonna keep doing what they do. There's a no bully tolerance in most of the schools that I've known. My daughter goes to school, there's a no bully tolerance in that school. I believe it's suspension. But like I said, I wish I didn't have to go through that alone. I wish I would have told somebody. And because I didn't, it took a very huge emotional toll on me. And to this day, sometimes it hurts to think that I let them put me through that. I believe my daughter was 2 already. I messaged girl A through Facebook, or it was some type of social media. And at that time in my life, I had held a grudge for them for so long. Both of them. Some part of me was always, I hope they get what they deserve. I hope they feel the way that I feel, that they made me feel. And at that point in my life, when I messaged girl A, something in me realized that I shouldn't hold that grudge against them, even though they hurt me that much and they never got punished for it. Nothing ever happened to them. I just felt that I needed to tell them that they were forgiven, that I didn't hold a grudge against anything that they told me or anything that they did. And I messaged girl A, I let her know, and she said she was sorry. She apologized. I still, have her on my social media. I still know how she's doing. Girl B, I don't know anything about. Again, to this day, I still feel very self-conscious about things, and even when I was pregnant with Penelope, I felt very self-conscious. I was scared because even though when I was pregnant with Penelope, I didn't have as many friends as I had with Isun. But I was still scared. I was still scared that, people or some person or anybody was going to start saying those kind of things to me. But nobody did. Thank God that I had a very supportive family, not only from my husband's side with Penelope, but also my small circle of friends who were very supportive too. And you would think that bullying is just physical, when they shove you and they push you, but it's not. There's also verbal abuse, and it hurts just as much. I just feel like if you're being bullied, you need to tell somebody. And if you're pregnant and in high school, just know that you will have the most amazing gift after you have your baby. And keep going, keep working hard, because now you have to work for that baby, and that baby depends on you completely. And have a good support system. It's tough, I know, because most of the parents, when they have a pregnant daughter that's a teenager, it's the hardest thing on them too. So make sure that, if it's not them, it's a counselor, it's a friend, it's an aunt, an uncle, whoever. Just make sure you always have a support system, because if it wasn't for the new group of friends that I, had at that point in my life, I don't know where I would have been. And know that you will get through it, and that baby is going to be amazing. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, or if you need somebody to talk to because you're going through this situation, feel free to email me. I will try and email you as soon as possible. It's in the description box below. Imagine if that's why I got bullied. Imagine just because somebody's different, they get bullied too. And that's just not the way the world should be. But until we have a perfect world, we all need to be here to support each other and just be as kind as we can to one another. I hope you enjoyed this talk, and I hope, you had some light shed onto your situation, or maybe you'll open your eyes, or you'll speak up if you're that person sitting next to girl B on the bench, and let them know that it's not okay. So that's all I have for you guys. Bye.